Hey guys, and today we're talking with Bruce Williams from the Watch BW channel. That's coming up right after this. All right. So, first off, thank you for joining me for this episode of Hosting the Host, Bruce. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you very much, CG. I appreciate it.
So let's start with the first thing that everybody wants to know, which is what are you wearing right now?
Well, I'm wearing my Seiko Marine Master. I pretty much wear this all the time. I can't take it off recently, so love it.
What's the size on that one again?
So it's 44, but it wears much smaller than 44.
I've got to find somewhere to try that on.
For sure. What are you wearing? Do you got your?
I don't actually have the JLC on. I'm also wearing a Seiko.
All right.
So I'm wearing the 55 fathoms
Sweet.
style. Yeah, while I'm training the dog, he'll sometimes try to get to my watch. So when I'm working with him specifically, I've got to switch into something else.
Gotcha.
First question, let's just kick it off. Obviously your wife knows that you have a YouTube channel, right?
Oh yeah.
How does your wife feel about your YouTube channel?
You know, she's real supportive. I do get some funny looks sometimes when I'm taking, wrist shots or all the silly things that come with, shooting and editing and being picky. But for the most part, she's real supportive. She just thinks I'm silly.
Now, does your immediate family or her family know about the channel as well? And have they actually watched any of the videos?
When I first started it, I would post on Facebook, hey, I've got a video. Hey, I've got 100 subscribers and stuff. And a lot of my friends and family would subscribe, even though I don't think they really watch any of my content. But I do. Her older brother, he's out in DC, and he recently got interested in watches, and so he'll send me watches, be like, hey, what do you think of this one? And I'll talk to him, and he'll watch my videos. So because he's planning on making his first automatic watch purchase. So yeah, a couple of them, have seen the channel and have subscribed, but really only one, I think, really watches it.
So what made you think, okay, I think I'm gonna make a video and I'm gonna post it. So what was the point that got you to thinking about it, to actually recording and posting?
When I would look at a watch that I wanted to buy, it was usually a watch that no store around me had, or nobody I knew had. Like, it was either a micro brand or a German brand or a Japanese domestic market watch. So I would watch all the reviews I could over YouTube. I'd read reviews over the watch forums to get all the information I could to make me a good decision, whether to buy it or not. And so I thought, if I'm buying these watches already, I might as well make a video, post them online. Maybe there's someone else like me that would benefit. They watch all the content that they can when they're researching a watch. So that's kind of how it started. I figured, if I've got it, let me throw it up online. And it just kind of went from there. It's been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing it.
At what point do you think, okay, I'm going to come up with a proper kind of, like, because you've got your icon and the production value is pretty good. So when did it kind of shift to, like, okay, I want this to look pretty?
Well, I noticed that some of my videos were getting pretty high up there, in the thousands of views. And I thought, well, I sound like a fool. I might as well try and look more professional. So I don't know. So I came up with Watch BW. Just, I thought, my initials and then watch, like a wristwatch. I thought it was a kind of a neat little play, and just threw it together on my lunch break one day at work, and I'm okay with it. So I've kept it.
Do you have a plan for your watches? Is there somebody that you plan on giving any of them to?
Well, so yeah, I just have one daughter. I don't have any sons. I've got a couple nephews, but no one's really expressed interest in, watches. So I'm planning on, this Marine Master, this one's a keeper for me. I'm I'm gonna keep this one forever. And I'm planning on picking up watches that I know will be forever watches. So, I plan on giving them to my daughter um, eventually, or if if she marries to her spouse, um, really, or if I had any like nephew or niece that expressed interest in watches, I would gladly pass those on. But really, I'm the only one right now, so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna throw my name in the hat for that Marine Master. I'm
All
just
right.
saying. You know what I mean? Do you have an idea of what your perfect collection looks like, where you think you'd be completely satisfied?
Well, I think it would be a fairly small collection. I find that when I really like a watch, it's hard to take it off wrist. So I only really imagine a couple pieces that could legitimately take my wrist time. One I already have with the Seiko, and then I do need a nice dress style. So I could see really rotating between the Marine Master, this awesome tool diver, and like a Grand Seiko or a Rolex, maybe a JLC someday down the road. So maybe two or three watches I think would be ideal for me. I know it's not very glamorous, but I think I'm just being realistic you know, with how much I really enjoy wearing a piece that I love. I just don't really see a big collection or very large collection.
How many have you got now? Because I think you also have a Christopher Ward, don't you?
Yeah, and I've been a notorious flipper, so I purged my collection to also. I've only have three Seiko divers right now. I've got my Marine Master, I've got the new Turtle, and I have my trusty SKX beater. So I've unfortunately let a lot of my stuff go because I am saving for that luxury dress piece, whether it's a Grand Seiko or a Rolex or JLC.
You've had the Turtle for a little bit now. So is the Turtle and the SKX fighting for wrist time? How do you see those fitting together? Because they're fairly similar.
Right, they're very similar, but the little differences set them apart. So I wear the SKX when I just don't care. When I'm going to be when I know it's going to get banged up, and so I'll throw that on. That's a great beater watch. And then the Turtle, when I'm feeling retro or I just want to mix it up, I'll put that on a Perlon or a NATO, and I'll just enjoy its vintage awesomeness. And so, yeah, they're similar, but to me, they're still fairly different to where I enjoy each.
Do people at work know that you're a watch guy? And if they do they start to come to you for advice?
No, I don't think anyone at work knows that I'm into what. Well, I mean, they should because I've got when I'm at work, I've got three screens and I'm doing my work, and I usually have YouTube in one of the other screens. The music, or I'm listening to a review or someone talking about, I'll listen to you. So, I mean, they should know by now that I'm into watches, but I'm the only watch guy at my small office.
If somebody were to come to you for a recommendation for their first automatic, kind of like your brother-in-law, what piece would you recommend to them?
My brother-in-law, he did this to me, and I think I just overloaded him. He sent me like a little tiny email saying, "Hey, I want to get my first watch. What would you recommend?" And I just sent him these huge paragraphs talking about movements and brands and all this different stuff. I gave him like 10 different recommendations, and I think I just overloaded him there for a while. So I try and rein back in, and I think when you're first getting into an automatic watch, you're willing to spend more money, but you don't want to break the bank. And so I usually recommend a lot of Seikos and Christopher Wards because they're pretty affordable and they offer a lot of value. So I found them really enjoyable to use and own. And so I can, without reservation, recommend them because, I know they'll have a similar positive experience. And then after they get, into watches more and they kind of get a sense for their own style, things that they're, they prefer, then I can give them additional suggestions on, things that might not be apparent, what brands or watches that might not be apparent to them, in the first few months of getting into watches.
Is there any brands that you tell people to shy away from or that you're reluctant to recommend?
I know there's been a lot of flack online recently about Tag, but I'm not. I mean, I like some Tag Heuer, you know, a lot of their vintage stuff, but if you're going to be spending, you know, $2,000-3,000 on a Swiss automatic, I usually recommend, you know, a pre-owned Omega or pre-owned Breitling, other brands. So definitely Seiko, you know, if they're willing to go into the Japanese section. But I'm not a huge fan of Tag. I think they're a little overpriced for what you get. Although they are really solid. You know, some of them are pretty solid watches.
Yeah, I think my first foray into an expensive watch was a Tag Aqua Racer.
Yeah.
And thank God I was able to return it, because when I tried to sell it, I was getting slashed. I mean, I think I was losing right off the top 60% of what I paid for it.
Oh man. Oh, that's
Yeah.
terrible.
All right, so I think I know the answer to this, just based on having kind of watched your videos and talked to you a little bit. Which brand would you work with? Would you collaborate with on a piece, and why?
Oh yeah, I think everyone might know this one. Seiko. Yeah, I'm kind of a Seiko nut.
Would you be putting together a diver?
Yeah, I mean, I would. I mean, Seiko does. They're so good at doing finish work and just iconic, unique stuff that's highly functional. So I would take some of those elements, kind of like what's found on the Marine Master, and I would scale them down because really most of their dive watches are large. And you know, if you get that timeless 40 millimeters, maybe 39 millimeters, and you get that exquisite, you know, Grand Seiko-esque finishing, crown at the 4 o'clock, you know, ceramic bezel, all the good stuff. I think it would be extremely compelling, and I would just be, you know, just be having a blast doing that, designing a smaller, nice, you know, Grand Seiko level quality diver. I think that would be awesome.
What do you think has kept Citizen from having the same kind of success in the US that Seiko's had?
You know, I think it just comes down to, I mean, they do solar power so well. And I know other brands do it too. You know, Seiko has their solar line, Citizen has the Eco Drive or Echo Drive. And I think it's been received really well. So they just keep doing that. And I know that, you know, Miyota is their automatic movement line, and they make some really nice high end automatic movements. But I just think that the demand is for the Eco Drives. And so that's what they do, and it's well received in the United States. And I just don't really see them expanding because, you know, Seiko and other brands, they have the automatic section covered pretty well.
So your channel is starting to grow. It's, a lot. I think a lot more people are hearing about you. I certainly try to kind of tell everybody and anybody about you every chance that I get.
Oh, thanks.
So, oh, you're welcome. I mean, I love your videos. So what do you have somewhere that you'd like to see it go, or are you kind of just enjoying it, as it's going? You don't have a vision. You're just kind of rolling with it.
More rolling with it. I know I feel like I'm awkward behind the camera. So I don't necessarily enjoy being behind the camera that much, but I love watches. So I just do, I think, what I will allow myself to do. You know, I'll do as much as I can take without cringing, because I think I'm a talking head and I'm goofy, and I don't know. So I don't yeah, I just don't enjoy being behind the camera, but I love the watch aspect. So yeah, just doing it for fun. I don't really see myself becoming a huge channel. I definitely think that you have the opportunity to become really popular. I absolutely love watching your stuff. You've got a great way of approaching watches and interacting with everybody, and I really admire that. So I don't see, although I think we have similar tastes and similar,
Oh yeah.
you know, uh, just perception, but very different approaches.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So that segues perfectly into the next question. What are your three favorite, or just three channels that you really enjoy watching, not counting this one, obviously?
Okay. All right. Let's see here. One that I found pretty recently. He's a guy out in the UK, and his name is Barry, and his channel name is called the Fat Gent. And he's a couple videos out, but they're awesome. he's got this genuine charm to his videos, and he just is real straightforward and really, it's really enjoyable to watch his stuff. He talks about watches, but also other things too. So I've really enjoyed the Fat Gent channel. It's it's cool. I would definitely go check out the Fat Gent. And then
Uh,
one is out there also in England, and Simon Crane. He I really enjoy watching this stuff. He can get a little vulgar, so if you have your kids around, there might be an F bomb or two, but for the most part, I really enjoy watching his stuff. He's down to earth. He's funny. He's not pretentious. He tells it like it is. And then I love when he does these watch tests where he'll take his watch and put it in the washer. He'll freeze it in ice. He'll drop it off a bridge. He'll run over it. And I don't know. I really enjoy those videos. And Simon's a nice guy. When I had like a couple videos out and like 15 or 20 subscribers, he reached out to me and said, "Hey, I like your stuff. I'll give you a mention on my channel." And so I just thought that was really cool. He's not, in competition with anybody. He's just a down to earth, nice guy, and I like his videos. The last one I would probably say is another smaller subscriber number, but Dalton Jr. or Dalton Jr.
yeah.
He, man, you used to see his collection. It's gorgeous. He's got some seriously nice pieces. And so when he does his videos, I'm just, drooling, looking at the screen, imagining how awesome it would be to have some of his watches. And he also is just real friendly, and he'll engage with you if you comment. And another really great guy. So I like Simon Crane, the Fat Gent, and Dalton Jr. Those are all awesome channels, awesome guys. So I enjoy those
I
ones.
love I'm gonna have to check out the Fat Gent. I've never even heard of the channel, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna link all these up below as well. But
Oh, yeah, do it. It's good.
yeah, I'm gonna have to check that one out. Simon, I love. He is a great guy. He's super fun to talk to. Yeah, his videos are just fun. And
Sure.
Dalton is incredible. I've obviously met him, had the pleasure of meeting him. We've gone out to dinner. I saw some of his watches. Um, if I thought for a second I could outrun him, um, I might have taken off with the GMT2. What's another example of a genre, I guess, of YouTube that you subscribe to that's not watch related that you enjoy?
Pranks. I love
What?
watching pranks. I'm so immature. I'm such a kid. So I don't know if you've ever heard of like Ed Bassmaster or Jack Vale. They've got fairly big prank channels and just really immature pranks that are just hilarious. And I'll laugh and I'll get all excited and I'll say, "Hey," I'll talk to my wife and be like, "You got to watch this video." And she'll look at me and be like, "Really?" Like you that like. So yeah, I love prank videos. I don't get tired of watching prank videos. There's so many good ones out there too. Magic of Ray Hat, Tom Mabe, Roman Atwood. I mean, there's a lot of good prank stuff, and I enjoy that a lot.
I'm actually gonna have to check that out. I pretty much only watch stuff, I guess. So what are you most scared about as your daughter gets older?
Oh, well, she's a daddy's girl. She loves her dad, and I mean, she's my treasure. And uh, when she gets older and she starts sassing, back talking, getting interested in boys and not wanting to have family time, I think that's going to be real sad. And um, so I don't know, I'm just trying to raise her right with good values, and so that when the time comes that she's parents aren't cool and she wants to hang out with boys and whatnot, she'll still want to maybe introduce them to us and bring them around the house for dinner or something. So I've got time though. She's 3. I've got time. I got my brother-in-law. He's got a daughter the same age as my daughter, and we're real proud dads. And he was joking with me the other day. He said that when his daughter gets old enough to date, and um, when the date comes around, like for prom or something, instead of pulling out a shotgun to scare the boy, he'll take him to his garage, where he'll have made a guillotine, like a mini guillotine, and he'll
Oh
take a
no.
hot dog, stick it in, and cut the hot dog in half. And please edit that out if it's not appropriate, because
No, I'm keeping it. In fact, I'm going to see if I can find a little guillotine hot dog animation to play on the side.
yeah, I thought that was a pretty good one. So
I think that about wraps it up for questions. I really, really appreciate you participating. Thank you for setting the time aside. I know, it's hard to come by free time. So I really appreciate you taking part in this segment.
oh, I thank you very much. Really appreciated being on. I think you're awesome. I love watching your stuff. I'm looking forward to watching the other YouTubers that you get on the show. So yeah, thanks very much. I really appreciate it.
Make sure you check out Bruce's channel. I'll have links to everything in the video description below.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. There's going to be a link to his channel and the other channels mentioned in the video description. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And that's it for this one. CG, out.